Hello, my name's Mike, I'm from Access Irrigation, and in this video we'll be seeing how we set up a drip line system on a bed. And in this case you're going to have to use your imagination because obviously we haven't got a bed with us now. So what I've got a header pipe in the black plain LDPE pipes, 16mm, and then I've got here the drip line that we're going to run out along our beds. Now, if you're using a standard dripper spaced drip line, that's 0.5 of a meter, then each line, drip line needs to be 0.5 apart. So it's really simple to work out. You'll have elbows on the ends, and then we've got T's in the middle. And then we've got a T connection point where we've got our underground takeoff, which we'll connect in at the end of it. So, things we need to do is we need to have some cutters, we need to have some hot water as well, and obviously lay it out on there. So the first thing to do is measure the width of your bed and then divide it by 0.5, and that'll tell you how many lines you're going to need. You're always going to need elbows on the ends, but it'll give you, depending on how many lines, that will determine how many the number of T's you're actually going to need as well. And don't forget at the ends, the stop ends, in this case, fold over stop ends we're going to use as well, which I'll show you how to fit on later. Okay, let's start then with our connection T here. So the first thing we need to do is dip these in some hot water. You don't need to leave it there for hours. Just a few seconds will do. When you're fitting the barb type fittings, just make sure they're okay, the pipe's okay, and when you push them on, just make sure they push fully on. So I'm going to take the first one, and then when I'm pushing it on, I wiggle it on rather than twist it. And the reason I don't twist it is because sometimes the pipe will kink, and there you can see it's gone right up to our stop. So that's our connection point. We've now got our 2 T's that we're going to put in. So put that on next. So there's our first T. And an elbow on the end of it as well. So you can see it's beginning to look like a fork arrangement. So we've got one side. Let's quickly do the other side. You can see you don't have to dip the pipe in the water for very long for it to expand. What we're using is the characteristics of the pipe to make a seal. When we heat it up, the pipe expands, we can push it onto the barb, and then when it cools down, it shrinks back tightly onto the barb and makes a really good seal. If you do it properly, you don't need any other means of any clips or anything else, just the barbs will do themselves. Okay, so we've now got our header. Let's put our connection point from our underground takeoff, and in this case we're going to use a barb fitting and a posi lock fitting. So let's do the barb fitting first of all. Okay, that was easy, but equally this will be easy as well. So we put the lock nut on first, then we'll put our green gripper in there, and then I'm going to push that over the top. You notice I didn't need to use any hot water on that one. Okay, that's there. So now here's our connection point coming underground. Here's the start at the head of our bed, or the end of the bed, which this is called the header pipe, and now we'll add our drip lines to it. Now obviously this is curled around, but when you roll your drip line out, it'll come in a 25 meter or 100-meter coil, always do it in a cartwheel fashion. So trap the outer tail of the pipe, you'll see the inner and outer tail on the coil, and then unwind it cartwheel fashion, that way you won't twist it. So I'm going to fit the stop ends onto these before we fit them. So stop ends, figure of 8, put them on and then fold it back on itself like so, and then trap it like that, and that's good enough. And the beauty of these, of course, is that at the beginning of the season you can pull these back and then just flush all the pipe work through. Let's do that to all of them whilst we're here. Really simple to do. Lovely. And let's start building our layout. Oops. One. It's going to get a bit awkward, this is, but bear with it. Now obviously if you were doing that in reality, you're outside on the bed, it would be a lot easier to do than me trying to do it on a table. But again, just make sure the pipe goes fully onto the 2 of the barbs. And make sure you've cut the pipe so there's no nozzle on it, otherwise you won't get it to go in. And that's it. So there you go. Now that will be secured down with the plastic anchorage pegs. Make sure the lines are nice and straight, and make sure you've got about ½ meter between each line, because we're effectively watering the whole of the bed, not just individual plants. The beauty is that wherever that plant is planted on that bed, it will receive the same amount of water. And don't forget, these are pressure compensated drippers as well, which means that no matter where the dripper is on the bed, and it could be 100 meters, each one of those will give out exactly the same amount of water. There you go, really simple to do, but really effective as well. And don't forget also that in drought conditions, if there's a hosepipe ban, drip line can still be used with a timer. So there you go, win-win all the way around.